Hello, everybody. Welcome along. G'day, Steve. G'day, Rowan. How you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful day. I've got a few news articles tonight. Some of them are maybe a bit boring, but a little bit of interest I've got in them. But one I found a little bit funny, if you're out and about in Hua Hin, you better be careful. You better keep everything tucked in because, the locals down there, there's been too many complaints about the monkeys, and they've tried different control measures. So the razor blade's going to start flying around. So they're going to sterilise about 600 monkeys. So that should take care of some of the problems with the overcrowding in the areas down there. That's right. I told you I was a technologically brilliant, didn't I? I actually had there you are. We had a little screenshot about that. Yeah. So that was. I kind of got a bit of a giggle out of that one. Yeah, could make you a little bit squeamish, couldn't it? The next one is the biologists in around Phuket and around James Bond Island, Koh Lanta and things like that. With the closing of the areas which are marine. Centuries, yeah. The black tip reef shark, the numbers have come back and increased, although they are not. They're not fishing for them is not 100% banned, but it was especially in the marine park area. But it came to a head to a certain extent when one of the biologists was in a local market in Koh Lanta, and he's up for sale. For the sharks that are less than 50 centimetres in length, there is a rule about catching them, but they're trying to push for a ban on all sharks as endangered species, and basically fishing within the marine parks. Now, the next one we'll get on to is one I spoke about earlier on around Phuket, mainly with a lot of the wildlife down there, the marine vets and they've done some really tremendous work. This one here was the dwarf whale, which unfortunately passed away due to infections. The next one was the wrong picture. The dugongs, and another baby dugong died, and it was found plastic in the stomach, and also in the same area in the national park. A deer was found dead with plastic bags in the stomach. Now, we've kind of spoken about it a little bit in the past. It was put to the government, and they virtually said they weren't going to do anything about it. Then there was another push for single-use plastic bags and cups and straws and all those kind of things. And it kept on going backwards and forwards. And it came out in the world stage to a certain extent, and Leonardo DiCaprio actually jumped onto it, and as well as something else that he did, which is because he is a bit of a humanitarian / environmentalist to a certain extent. He put his weight behind the dugongs, because the government themselves, different departments, they'd kind of gone, talked about saving the dugongs and those things. But Leonardo putting his weight behind the whole thing actually added to the worldwide push on the plastic thing. So hopefully they have reconsidered on it, and they were heading in that direction, we think. So that'll be good. That'll be good. I'll just go back so I can see the comments. G'day, Grant. How you doing, mate? Andy Stubbs. Hello, buddy. Dom, how you going, mate? So Leonardo DiCaprio also threw a lot of money in direction of Brazil in relation to putting out the fires in the Amazon jungle, which is pretty well, everybody knows it's tagged as the lungs of the world. So while one was sitting on one side of the fence and they were blaming farmers and blaming everything, but everybody was at blame because everybody was sitting on their hands. These kind of things affect us all in the long run, I think. Not everybody, if it's not in your backyard, people don't think about it, but, it's probably worth thinking about. Next story it amused me. It's about a bus travelling from Nakhon Ratchasima to Udon Thani, and it was actually spotted, and that's a picture of it driving down the road. As you can see, it's kind of driving sideways, crabbing, what you'd call it. The people that took the photographs and things like that were virtually responsible people. Instead of getting on the Facebook and going, ha, 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 look at that, they actually sent the photos to the local highway patrol. But, coming from that mechanical background, for a bus to be crabbing like that, the normal problem would be a broken centre bolt. The centre bolt holds the spring together. The U-bolt goes over the spring as an entirety, but once it's the centre bolt's gone, the slip, it can slip backwards and forwards. So that would be a normal cause for that kind of thing. It was obviously because of that mechanical background, I found that one interesting and decided to share it with you. But anyhow, we'll move on to our next one. I've spoken about this before. Motorcycle riders in Bangkok. Now, we've all experienced that, where you're walking down the footpath, sidewalk, whatever you want to call it, and you've got these terrorists on motorbikes, I call them, motorbike taxis, God knows what, that think that the footpath is just a road, and they don't have a lot of respect for the travelling public walking. After a young girl was hit and killed probably about 6 months ago, the fine went from 1,000 baht to 4,000 baht. But just recently, a young Japanese student studying in Thailand at Nakhon in the Nakhon province. She took a bit of a stand about it and actually stood her ground and not nastily abused people, but just told them that maybe they should be rethinking it, the roads where a motorbike or whatever should be. And with that and a little bit of a Facebook campaign, she got quite a bit of recognition, and it brought to light a lot of that which we all know happens. So any of that kind of thing happening is always a good thing, to bring that little bit of awareness to it. So while I was talking about, added a little bit of light to the Bangkok traffic, all that kind of thing. And while we're on lights, we may as well continue with lights, eh? Yeah. So after 60 years, It's a long time, 60 years. After 60 years, Udon Ratchathani, the village of Sai Mung Mai, more than 200 families were able to turn on electricity for the first time. Now they can enjoy the delight of computers and TV and modern appliances. I don't know if that's really that much of a benefit, but one young student, she said, well, it's the first time that she's actually been able to do her homework without connecting up a light globe to the car battery. So finally, a lot of the very outlying areas are catching up to the rest of the world, which is, pretty well a good thing. Now, the next little one I've got is an interesting story. I followed it a little while back, and it was one of those ones. Oh yeah, and when it came back up again, I thought, yeah, that is a good news story, and so that's why I'll share the story with you. This week, the saga ended. Police Lieutenant Sharoon in a court in the Canterbury returned to him with 24 million baht. The retired policeman won first prize totaling 30 million baht with a set of 5 tickets back in November 2017. After tax and a little bit of spending money, Mr. Shampoon actually spent 5 million. And then another person, a Mr. Prihar, filed a lawsuit claiming ownership. Well, as we said, this week, the court awarded the ownership to Mr. Sharon, as he was the legal owner as the case went on. And it was proven that he bought the tickets in Red City Market from a lottery vendor there. So it just goes to show you that, all good things come to those who wait. Rightio, we'll talk. We'll have, while we're on money, we may as well share the bad news. We'll share the bad news, or sometimes it's good. The US dollar is trading at 30.54. The British pound 37.50. The euro 33.95. The Canadian dollar 23.15. Poor old Aussie dollar 20.55. And the Swedish thingo, that's for Jurgen, 3.14. It's actually come up 0.04 from last week. So that'll make Jurgen happy. I think that'll really make Jurgen happy. You're going to get an extra 2 bits of stuff all. But that's good. That's all good. All right, so it was great. The meetup thing, that was good. Not quite as many turned up as originally, but that doesn't matter. That was their miss out. And to Dom and Andy, it was really great to meet up with you, have a couple of beers and a chat. I enjoyed it, and so did Nitsa. It was really, really, really good. Unfortunately, that weather wasn't so. G'day, James. How you going, mate? Yeah, the weather kind of dimmed a little bit, but it is Melbourne. But the light show thing, they postponed that, and it was about 10 o'clock before it actually started off. And after that, we met up with a couple of others, and that was all right. But went home to bed early and behaved myself. I didn't want to run amok. But yeah, so it was all good. It was all good. I don't think I've been to a bad meetup. As we know, meeting real people is always a positive in life, I think. But like tonight, you can, people put, oh well, I like talking about Thailand. Some of the news that makes me laugh or makes me smile. Why do I do it? I enjoy it. Contribute something to it. G'day, TJ. How you going, mate? Tonight, before I started the stream, I had a few messages, and it makes you really feel humble when people send you a message and say, "Oh, look, mate, can't make it to the stream tonight. Have a good one. Chat you through the week. Take care," that kind of thing. That positive stuff that comes out of probably putting the mug out there and doing this kind of thing, and the collaboration on the weekends. There's negative, there's positive, but I tell you what, if you look at the positive, there's more positive around than. G'day, Justin. Thanks for coming along, mate. Yeah, there's more positive out there than there is negative. Sometimes we feature on the negative, but that don't get you a long way. But the positives, that's what I like to feature on. The same as trying to find, good positive or funny kind of news. Daniel, g'day. John Daniels, yeah, g'day, mate. That's what I like to try and find. Promote Thailand in the better sense, more so than in a bad sense. And expats, there's a lot of hell of a nice expats over there as well. And it makes it really worthwhile. I just got word today that where I was getting peed around with those that schooling and stuff that I had to do or whatever, that starts on the 21st of this month, this coming month. It won't be this month. The 21st is already gone. Yeah. So that'll be 6 months. So when we kind of start on that, we'll probably pull the channel back to a fortnightly thing, and because, like I say, we're going to have a real red hot go at this. So obviously, you got to put some time into doing the stuff and learning this kind of crap. But apart from that, up until I heard that today, I was going to head back over. No, it's they're talking a couple of days a week, Andy. They're talking a couple of days a week down at Chisholm in Dandenong. So yeah, that's g'day, Adrian. How you doing, mate? Yeah. A couple of days a week going down to Dandenong. We can do it by public transport, but I think it might be just as easy to drive. But we'll work that out when the time starts. But so that was a bit of good news today. But I was getting right into doing the research for flights to Thailand. And one thing that at the moment there's some damn cheap flights going around, and if you want to layover flights, not direct flights, they're really, really cheap. The Aussies that are thinking about going to Thailand, I'd say go, because the prices are, really cheap. Thai is still up there. Probably not quite as dear as Qantas, but because they don't seem to alter much. But the Jetsstars and those kind of things, their prices are down. But the other thing is you've got to have a look at if you want to take any luggage with you. Then they start whacking you. And if you want a meal or a couple of beers, well, you got to really look at your tickets. And some of the ticket vendors online, they charge you fees, and so if you take some of that into account, it's just something when you're heading that way or doing it, just go in with open eyes. Let's say that. Let's just say we go in with open eyes when you're booking your stuff, because there's Skyscanner is always a good one. Look, Expedia. I've found Expedia pretty good a few times, because you can ring them up and you can screw them down a bit. Just saying, look, I can get a flight off somebody for that money, and they want your business, so they'll pretty well sell you that same flight for kind of what you want to pay for it. Yeah, John. Like I was just saying, with the poor although the Aussie dollar did come up 0.05 of a baht, but the US dollars has taken a bit of a whack this week. Down to 30.54. Because at 4 o'clock Australian time, I checked the rates through Supercheap. And write them down that I pass on to you people. So that's it's a couple of hours old now, obviously, but I try and keep it up to as close as I can to what I'm doing. UX, g'day mate, how you doing? Now there's a man that had an interesting trip to Thailand, and he actually lived through it too. No, you had a blast over there, mate. I know that. I've watched your stuff, so yeah, you had a lot of fun. But that's what you set off to do, and enjoy yourself, and that's what it's all about. That's the whole thing about it. If you're going on holidays, be respectful of others and enjoy yourself, and you'll never have any problems. Because that's sometimes people forget about that little word called respect. And even if a taxi's going to stuff you over, just pay them the money, walk away. It's not worth the hassle. But a lot of times, if they won't put the meter on, just get straight bloody out of it. Motorbike taxis, half the time, tell them where you're going. They'll tell you how much. You either get on the back or you don't. That way you don't have any problems. It's pretty simple stuff, but at times people forget it. So yeah, that's about all I've got for tonight. Pretty well all good news there. And my good news for the day, apart from those few little bits and pieces, I haven't got a lot that I was really going to talk about tonight, except for I've been in the country, had rain, spoke to the mother-in-law through the week, and it was quite interesting. She said the new roof is not as noisy with the rain as the old AC sheet corrugated one, corrugated type shit one. So that was a bonus, and she said the good thing about it, there's no leaks. Well, I'm glad about that, because I did the bloody work, and I didn't think there was going to be a leak. But anyhow, so I asked her how much rain she had. She said, we've had quite a few kilos. And I thought, well, hang on, you don't get rain in kilos. You get rain in millimetres and stuff like that. But remember, she is a little bit older. So apparently we've had shitloads of rain up there. So she hasn't had to water trees and stuff like that. So she's happy, that's good. That makes me happy too. There's nothing worse than a grumbling mother-in-law, I can tell you. I think we all know that. Anyhow, on those terms, each and every one of you, thanks for coming along and giving us support. I hope we've given you a little bit of entertainment tonight. And Saturday and Sunday on the Collaborative channel. We've got some very good topics coming up this week. So, that's the other thing. We try and put it out there, and entertainment as well. So, yeah, remember, stay safe, take care, your support. Johnny out.